Right now it's 6, a fatal accident involving a train in Buffalo County. And Wisconsin State Track and Field is officially underway in La Crosse. Some of the highlights from the best in the Badger State.
Watching WKBT La Crosse, this is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Emily Brown. Ken is off today. One is dead after a train accident in the township of Buffalo. It happened near the 5A dam. According to the Buffalo County Sheriff's Office, a man and his dog were walking on the tracks when they were hit by the train. Both were killed. The scene is still under investigation. The La Crosse man accused of shooting his ex-girlfriend in the face will stand trial. Deontay Booth stood mute in his preliminary hearing. The court entered not guilty pleas on his behalf. Booth was arrested at the Econo Lodge May 23rd and was charged with first-degree intentional homicide. He could face 60 years in prison if convicted. Happening around the state, Maxwell Anderson has been convicted of murdering and dismembering a 19-year-old woman in Wisconsin last year. According to Milwaukee prosecutors, Maxwell Anderson killed Sade Robinson and discarded her body parts in different locations. The jury found him guilty on all counts, including murder, mutilating a corpse, hiding a corpse, and arson. He's scheduled for sentencing on August 15th. A federal court is blocking the Trump administrator's cuts to AmeriCorps programs in Wisconsin. In April, Attorney General Josh Kaul joined a 23-state coalition in a lawsuit against the administration. Cuts would have ended educational programs, recovery services, and conservation projects at 300 sites across Wisconsin and cut 430 jobs. Well, a milder Friday we're having, a little cooler than yesterday, but hey, the athletes at the track and field meet probably weren't complaining about that, Greg.
Yeah, for the most part, it was a little cooler and they didn't have the sun to deal with, so not really a bad day to be outdoor doing those type of activities. Some areas a little cooler. If you go further towards Prairie du Chien, it wasn't that much of a change for each day, but all in all, pretty nice conditions for the early part of June, minus that we could see some heat and humidity during this time. We still got showers going on. That's the amount of rain we saw in the last 24 hours, so just a couple hundreds. Some areas got lucky to get a tenth, but overall, we don't have much activity going on right now. A few showers near Eau Claire and further to the east, but all in all, it's fairly quiet. Big picture shows this is one disturbance. We have another one that's now in Nebraska. That's going to be lifted northeast. That'll be another chance for a few showers, but it should be similar to what we saw today. Very isolated. This evening, just north and east of Eau Claire, I think the cloud cover will begin to decrease. They'll see at least partly cloudy skies later on. The shower chance there will diminish. Otherwise, northeast Iowa is where the cloud cover will persist, but expecting dry conditions at least through 10 to 11 p.m. Later tonight, we're going to see more opportunity, but it should be fairly similar temperatures, mid-50s, low 50s to the north. Pretty seasonable. That shower really comes back in towards late tonight, and later on we'll kind of break down those chances, but also we have Sunday to kind of get storm conditions to come through, cooler conditions Monday, and there might be some 80s in the forecast. I'll break all that down a bit later.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Greg. Well, one of the biggest high school sporting events in Wisconsin is happening right here in La Crosse. News 8 Now's Grace Monk is live at Roger Herring Stadium for the WIAA State Track and Field Championships. Grace, how's it going?
Today's a big deal. Today's a big deal for these athletes. As you can tell behind me, there's a lot of people here. There's also a lot of excitement. The WIAA State Track and Field Championship brings the best of the Badger State to La Crosse. Over 20,000 people are attending the event this weekend, which means the stands are packed and the people are loud. These athletes have spent months preparing for today. We spoke to parents who say the event leaves them on the edge of their seats.
Very nervous for him, very nervous for his teammates in the relays. The baton handoffs always make us nervous, but it's excitement because I know that he's going to do great no matter what he does.
Things officially kicked off at 9:30. Things officially kicked off at 9:30 this morning. Now the events are going to continue through the evening. There'll be more tomorrow, including finals, which I've been told are pretty exciting. In La Crosse, Grace Monk, News 8 Now.
Looks like they're having really nice weather out there tonight. Thank you, Grace. Minnesota lawmakers have reached a state budget deal. The closely divided House has worked to reach an agreement since regular session ended May 19th. A special session will be held Monday to pass the remaining parts of the two-year budget. The session will focus only on the budget bills at hand, in addition to a bill to remove undocumented immigrant adults from Minnesota Care. Mugs for Rugs is selling their custom cat scratching posts. The campaign collected over 100 rugs to help prevent older people from falling. Local high school students and firefighters then turned them into cat scratching posts. You can get one for a $5 donation at the Coulee Region Humane Society. And today is the second day of the 41st annual Sparta Butterfest. The festival features a softball tournament, flea market, ATV rides, a carnival, and a bunch of other exciting events. Festmaster Charles Weaver says the festival is a fantastic kickoff to the summer festival season and a great way to get families out.
It's just a good time, good place for everybody to come out, get some good food, talk to people, enjoy themselves.
Tomorrow, the Sparta Butterfest will host a cow milking contest around 1:30 in the afternoon. And today is National Donut Day, and you can celebrate while helping local families. 50 cents from every donut sold today at Linda's Bakery in West Salem goes to the Salvation Army's Make a House a Home program, helping people move into permanent housing. Last year, the promotion raised nearly $2,000.
Love donuts here at Linda's Bakery, and partnering with Salvation Army, it aligns with our mission to help people meet their needs, whether it's hunger or housing.
Salvation Army and Quick Trip are celebrating the day donating donuts to first responders in the area. Well, sweet news for La Crosse. Crumble Cookies opened its newest location today in Onalaska's Windy Ridge Shopping Plaza. Excited fans lined up for the first taste of the rotating weekly cookie menu.
It's exciting, you know. The cookies are Crumble cookies are a hot commodity. People love them, and you know, the brand speaks for itself. So it's just a testament to how much people have been waiting for this day, and the people of La Crosse are excited. So are we.
So am I. The grand opening runs until 10 tonight. Download their app and use code WILacrosse for a free chocolate chip cookie through July 8th. Coming up, a Minnesota chemical spill leading to more than 24 hospitalizations. And the Maryland father mistakenly deported to El Salvador, facing federal criminal charges as he returns to the U.S. More than 24 people were hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries after a chemical spill at a poultry plant in Minnesota. It happened today at the Pilgrim's Pride facility in Cold Spring. Authorities said the chemical is commonly used to clean and sanitize food and healthcare facilities. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, concentrated forms of the solution can lead to irreversible skin and eye damage. A Maryland father mistakenly deported to El Salvador is coming back to the U.S. to face criminal federal charges. The Justice Department announced the indictment of Kilmar Abrigo Garcia for smuggling undocumented migrants into the U.S. and conspiracy. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the scheme spanned nearly a decade, with thousands of people trafficked across the border.
This is what American justice looks like. Upon completion of his sentence, we anticipate he will be returned to his home country of El Salvador.
A judge had previously granted Abrigo Garcia protection from deportation to El Salvador, and his lawyers argued he'd never been charged with or convicted of any crime. Now authorities are alleging smuggling was his full-time job. World War II veterans gathered in Normandy today to commemorate the 81st anniversary of the D-Day landings. Tens of thousands of people attended the commemorations, which included parades, flyovers, and historical reenactments of a pivotal moment that would lead to the liberation of Europe.
Because we strive for peace, we must prepare for war and hopefully deter it. We must ensure that our children and our grandchildren know what these men did, that they understand.
Nearly 160,000 Allied troops stormed the beaches of Normandy on June 6, 1944. 73,000 were killed. We'll have more news ahead, but first,
Yeah, we do have showers through Saturday and storms Sunday, but it's not going to ruin both days, so not a complete washout. We'll time out when the storms hit Sunday and how much cooler we're going to get for Monday. That all coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
La Crosse splash pads are open for the season. You can check them out for free at Copeland, Springbrook, and Pogie Park. They're open during regular park hours. And the public pool's open tomorrow. You can swim at Erickson, Veterans Memorial, and Northside Community Pools. The pools will be open through August 17th. The cost is $5 per person. Kids 2 and under are free. And it isn't quite feeling like swimming weather just yet, but maybe more so next week. Let's send it over to Greg to see when those temps could rise.
Yeah, I think at this point next week we'll be dealing with more probably 80s as the pattern kind of shifts. So feeling more summer-like. Matter of question going into the end of next week is how warm or cool we'll stay, but I definitely think we'll be back in the 80s. We're still contending with a little bit of haze out there. It's really not going to be a completely clear atmosphere throughout Friday or Saturday into Sunday as this kind of gets recycled from the south as a front comes. I do believe once we get to Sunday, a lot of the surface-based haze will kind of push out of the area and we'll get rid of it for the time being, but it's still out there currently right now, but not air quality type issues. Overall, the precipitation for this evening really is 2 areas east of I-94 and a little bit of activity towards Iowa, but for the most part, everyone's going to remain dry. Less cloud cover for areas along I-94, including Eau Claire, will probably clear out a little bit. Otherwise, cloud cover increases for areas south of west of La Crosse. There's another disturbance that will be approaching, so cloud cover will probably be in the increase after midnight. Should remain dry. We'll start seeing the showers developing a little bit more towards 2 to 3 and maybe towards the morning like we had this morning. We'll start seeing a little bit of that sprinkle shower activity along and south of I-90 spreading northeast through the morning. Not a lot of precipitation if you're out at that time to see it. This will continue to kind of push northeast, but there's a question of how much further northeast it'll get and how widespread. Once again, rain amounts will be very light. If you're further northeast than that, expect dry Saturday morning conditions. And for the most part, going towards Eau Claire, probably dry all the way until the afternoon hour when you'll start seeing cloud cover and a little bit of instability there. Will start developing a few showers probably in the afternoon. Once again, widely scattered. Mountains will be very light and most areas will remain dry, just a few clouds. With this, I think temperatures will come up a few degrees tomorrow. And then Saturday night, late Saturday night into Sunday, that's when the front comes through, and that's the cold front. You see it at this point at about midnight. It's over in the Dakotas or western Minnesota. It should swing through here fairly quickly, but it's probably going to be about 6 to about 9 a.m. that front will come through, and better chance of showers and thunderstorms as you go further north. Less probably likely as you go farther southwest. It will be weakening, so we're not expecting strong or severe as it comes through. It'll swing through. We'll have some clearing in the early afternoon, and then with the instability, cooler air coming in, we'll probably get redevelopment of some showers some point in the afternoon hour, scattered in nature. The wind will start picking up. And then we got the really cool air and the showers coming in for Monday as you see it kind of rotating around a low to the north. Monday is definitely going to feel more like spring-like. Showers, light rain going on, and in the 60s too. So that'll be the cool conditions. Now rainfall amounts all the way through Monday at noon. We're not expecting a lot of precipitation. Better chance you go further north. You might get up to a quarter to an inch. Otherwise it drops down these lower green levels, and that means less than a ½ inch all the way through noon Monday. So not a lot, but some precipitation. There's your temperatures tomorrow. A few degrees warmer for some areas. Other areas may not see much of a change. Sunday, I think everyone will come down a few degrees, and then the bigger change is coming Monday when the temperatures then come all the way back down into the 60s too for most areas. So that definitely one of the coolest temperatures we'll have in the 8-day period. But we change pretty quickly because all that heat out west, we're going to get some of that eventually by the middle of next week with mid-80s, potentially a little warmer before we do get showers and thunderstorms by the time we get to next Friday and Saturday. So it'll feel more summer-like towards the second half of next week. But for the time being, we're going to have a lot of 70s. And Monday, you'll feel definitely more spring-like.
Yeah, we might as well soak it up while we can.
Yes, because everyone will be complaining when we get to the 90s.
I won't be. I'll be like, this feels like
60s, 70s
home.
back, yes.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Coming up next in sports, the action is underway. Session number 1 from the state track and field meet is in the books. The sights and sounds from the some amazing performances from area trackletes. Jacob is next.
Covering all the exciting action from your community. Here's News 8 Now Sports with Jacob Lansendorf.
3,043 athletes are gathering at Roger Herring Stadium over the next 2 days at the WIAA State Track and Field Meet, with dreams of being atop the podium with the shiny new medallion around their neck. Divisions 2 and 3 kicking off the action earlier today. Rain clearing out just in time for some strong performances. We'll begin with some standout showings in prelims. Michaela Guslaw of Cashton and Paisley Eggy of DeSoto both headed to the D3 finals thanks to their good races in the 100-meter hurdles. Then in D2, Viroqua's Alana Christensen leaping into Saturday's final with the 4th fastest time at 14:77. And it was a top time in the prelim round in the 4x100 and 4x200 relays for the Kickapoo Lafarge ladies. They look fast and like a real threat to be crowned champions tomorrow. But let's get to some finals. Staying on the track, first race of the day, the Cochran Fountain City girls in the 4x8 relay, and they take home second thanks to a huge last leg by Paxton Dillman, time of 9:42.51, and Paxton's sister Addie in the 2-mile later in the day, waiting to make her move until late. And it was the right call as she pulls away and sets a new personal record with a time of 10:35.96.
Well, I looked up on the screen and I saw her pack and I was just like, well, this is like my last opportunity to go. So I just started kicking and hoped I could hold it, and I've crossed that line and I was shook. Like, I PR'd by like about 30 seconds and I can't even believe it.
Elizabeth Curtis of Westby not far behind, taking 3rd place. In the D2 boys 1 mile, Aquinas' Declan Gregg takes home 5th place, good enough to make the podium, thanks to a time of 4:19.30. Let's go over to the high jump. Division 3, Jack Schmaling of Luther in a battle with Ashton Clark of Ladysmith. Schmaling, the future Badger, clearing 6'8" right there. He is fired up, and for good reason, because that is a new personal record, and he celebrates with a backflip. Falls just short of 1st place, but now still an outstanding showing nonetheless.
I did not expect to clear 6'8", just like 6'6" last time I was here. I look back at the bar and it's still standing, and I mean, as you can hear by my voice, I'm very, very excited, very hyped from that event. I look over at my mom, everyone's cheering. It was a really surreal moment for me.
A surreal moment indeed. And speaking of cool moments, it was Kickapoo Lafarge's Adam Boysen's 6th time ever doing high jump, and he reaches the podium with a time of a leap of 6'4".
Halfway through the season, I walked up to my coach and asked him if I could try, and I ended up being good at it.
Pretty good for starting halfway through the year. It's been a big year for Blake Thierry of PDC, and today he adds another notch on his belt as he sets a new school record of 23.6 3/4 in the long jump and is a state champion, the first Blackhawk to win a state title in track and field since 1979.
I knew it was going to be, conflicting with 300 hurdles, and, I've been prepared for this all year long. So I knew I had to go big. I knew that was the number I had to hit, and, it happened. I had some big ones out there that followed too, but, I'll take 23.6. That's a big jump.
Thierry hoping for some more hardware tomorrow as well. Ted Teskey of Arcadia with a good showing in that same event, taking 3rd. In Division 3, area athletes go 4.56 as Carter Emler of North Crawford, Adric Eggy of Kickapoo Lafarge, and Jay Stetzler all finish on the podium. And then coming up in the pole vault, Westby's Madeline Von Felt taking home 5th place with a mark of 10.9. Coming up with a good job from coach on the side after a great jump. And last but not least, D3 shot put, DeSoto's CJ Millerin throwing 53 3/4 for 5th place, while North Crawford's Gavin Tamling throws 53.7 3/4 for 4th place. What a day so far. We will have even more action for you later tonight with Division 1 events, so make sure you catch us later at 10. Now, over sports, Greg's back with a check on your weather next.
All right, we could see a few showers, but I think everyone will remain dry this evening. We'll have less clouds, but overall still quiet conditions. 50s, pretty seasonable temperatures for tonight. We do have showers coming back in for Saturday, but like today, a lot of areas will remain dry. Watch out for Sunday storms, and then Monday definitely will feel more spring. If you want the 80s, wait till Wednesday.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thanks so much for joining us tonight at 6. We'll see you at 10.